Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Recently we reached 100 subscribers on the channel, and as a celebration of that, I decided to ask people to send in questions for a little Q&A. That's what we're going to go through today, guys. I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you for watching. Okay, so the first of the questions that I got asked is kind of a biggie. It's something I've talked about a few times on the channel, but you know, I'm glad to refresh it. What motivated you to get into YouTube as well as streaming? I found myself, like a lot of people during the last year, kind of in a rut during COVID, you know, during the lockdown. And a good friend of mine, you guys have probably seen him in the comments or seen him in one of my live streams. He was starting to do Sims videos at the time. Shout out to Grim. And I was watching them and I was thinking, you know, wow, Grim has a lot of passion here for YouTube, for doing this kind of content, for being creative. And it's something I've always had, but I've been always constantly applying it to the writing medium and not necessarily getting as far as I'd have liked with it, right? So I kind of thought, okay, well, I can't do a lot of writing right now. I was in the middle of a lot of things. I was kind of coming out of university at the time. I was searching for work, but it was definitely the right time to kind of try something more kind of small form, you know, a video you can make and put up. Even though, you know, you're on a journey to become a content creator, you do have like little milestones that, you know, prove to you that you're going somewhere with it. You don't get that with writing. Writing is always about, you know, let's get the next 1,000 words, but then no one's seeing those 1,000 words. And the worst part is you probably hate those 1,000 words. So this was more of a kind of medium that I could work in that kind of mindset, like I said. Streaming, however, kind of came a little bit after YouTube. I was doing YouTube for about a month before I decided to go and try Twitch. I had tried these both before when I was younger, but I didn't really have kind of the confidence or the ability back then, so I kind of scrapped it. So I still had my accounts. I was using the same accounts that I used back then. So I said, right, okay, well, why not stream too? And so I kind of went into streaming headlong. Didn't really have a UI. Didn't really use my face in the beginning either. I didn't really use like a camera, and it was fun. I really did enjoy it, but it was always a weird thing because I wanted to do YouTube more, but like over time, I think I enjoyed streaming a lot more. And then obviously I was like, right, well, how do I balance the two? And so that's why we kind of have this schedule that we have now, where I do 3 streams a week and try very hard to do 2 videos a week. That doesn't always happen just because of when content in the game is dropping, or if I've got extra stuff on that week, just in terms of life, but that's what I always try and stick to. Funnily enough, the next question kind of follows on from that. Which video of those that you've made is your favorite? That's a hard question because I think I've done a lot of different videos, and some of them aren't really comparable. You know, my reviews are separate from my gameplay. I don't really like a lot of my older videos. They got me where I was going, but they're kind of bad, let's be real. Audio was choppy, I had no camera, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Out of the more recent stuff, I'm really proud of my Tachyon Anomaly event video. That was the first long form video. It was about 8 minutes, I think. That did really well. It's at like nearly 700 views as of recording this, and you know, I'm really proud of that. But generally, I'm proud of most of my videos, my newer stuff specifically. I think I put a lot of work and time into developing the skills that you need to be a content creator. So whenever I put one out, I always feel like I've improved in some way, or tried something new, or tested out something kind of different how I'd done it before. So really, I don't really have a favorite video. More kind of like I try and take what's good from that video and move on with it, you know? Which achievement are you most proud of so far? This. Funny enough, 100 subscribers seems small to some people, right? You see channels with like 26 million, you know, subscribers, or you know, even like 3 million, something like that. 100 is a drop in the ocean. But the fact that I have over 9 months being able to go from, I think it was 3 that I had from just like previous little ventures, up to 100, is crazy to me. And I'm forever grateful for those who have decided to come along on this journey with me. And also I'm grateful to Shorts, because Shorts helped me grow a lot on YouTube recently, and that's why I try and put out ones at least once a week. Speaking of which, guys, if you don't know, I do have a second channel it'll be popping up over here right now. It's where I put all of my short content that isn't related to gaming. I try and have a few laughs, try and have a few kind of discussions about, you know, Star Wars movies, Marvel movies, that sort of stuff. If you're interested in that sort of thing, head on over there and have a look. This is a little bit more of a fun question. My favorite character in both the Mass Effect and Dragon Age franchises. I said Edie and Morrigan. So Edie, the robot from Mass Effect, you know, when she finally gains a body in Mass Effect 3 and she becomes a companion, that was like my favorite thing ever. I loved that. I mean, Morrigan, she's kind of the backbone of the party in Dragon Age Origins, right? She wasn't necessarily the good quote-unquote guy, but she pushed the quest along, she pushed a lot of the story along. So as you guys can probably tell, I like the cold, aloof, sassy, know-it-all characters. Yeah, but yeah, if you apply that to any franchise, you'll probably get my favorite character in that franchise too. Princess Leia, C-3PO. You know, I think I have a really interest in that sort of character dynamic. I don't know why. It's just something I really like. What's the first video game you can remember playing? How old were you? Right, so out of the gate, I don't remember how old I was. But I do remember this game that I had on my old little PC, which was like huge. It had a huge monitor with a really big back on it, as you guys would probably remember. It was ancient. And I even had it was a proper CD. It was a disc game. It was 101 Dalmatians. I don't remember the exact name of the game. I don't remember like if we had a subtitle or anything like that. All I remember is that you played as the puppies and you were like doing a platformer essentially, like something like Sonic or Mario. And you were trying to avoid the henchmen, Cruella's henchmen. That's all I can remember. I've like this one vivid memory of this one level that I think was in a clock tower. But that's it. That's all I've got. That's like probably one of my earliest gaming memories that I can think of off the top of my head. What's the best game you ever played, and what's the worst? So this one's a hard one because I don't really believe in labeling games as bad and good, and not in the traditional sense, right? Like I'll say that was a bad part of that game, but that game had also this good part. I mean, you guys have probably seen one or two of my reviews. If you haven't, you know, you can go and watch them now, but maybe finish this video first. And in those videos, I always try and say that was really good, that was kind of trash. I like try and always see both sides. I don't want to give the illusion that I'm some kind of shill, but at the same time, I don't want to be too harsh on the game that, you know, people have worked on, people have put time into. You know, it might not be perfect, but it'll have some gems in there somewhere. With all that said, my favorite game that I always go back to, just because it's kind of been integral to me, like growing up. It's been about 9 years now that this game's been running. Is Star Wars: The Old Republic. That was my first kind of big foray into the wider internet and the wider kind of gaming community. You know, it's went through its iterations. It's not always been the best of games. It's not always been bad either, though. You know, the storytelling in that game is always an exercise in frustration because there's so little of it sometimes, but it's always quite of a quality. And I go back all the time. I don't get to play as much as I'd like at the moment, but like I feel like the Old Republic is probably in its best position it's been in since its launch, essentially. As for what's the worst game I've played, again, I don't really have a worst game. If I know or kind of have this inkling that I won't like a game, I mean, for a long time I didn't like isometric top-down games and all that sort of stuff. I just avoid them. But one that did kind of fall short for me, mainly because of myself, was Monster Hunter World. I bought that game and I think I've only played like maybe 2 hours at most over its lifespan. It's been out a few years now as well. Because I didn't want to play alone, really. I felt like it didn't really have much of a through line for me to kind of enjoy. And so I stopped playing it. But that's not a fault of the game, it's more a fault of my own for not persevering, not trying it a little bit more. You know, we're all guilty of that at some point. If you could stream full time, would your content change? If yes, how? I think my content would largely stay the same in terms of what it is. You know, I'd still do Avengers videos, I'd still do the odd game here and there. You know, I'd be a variety streamer, a variety YouTuber as much as possible. But I think it would allow me to kind of go in more in depth with those videos. Like, Sometimes I don't get to cover all of the news on a given game, so sometimes I don't bother. It's the choice between having to basically do one game on my channel and doing multiple, right? You know, if I fully covered Avengers right now, for example, and kind of talked about all the news we get on a given week, I'd have to do 1 or 2 videos fully on that, and that's my cap. I can't do any more videos than that. Whereas if I was a full-time streamer / YouTuber, I could do, you know, maybe 3 or 4, and I could do 2-hour Avengers, kind of keep up on that, do a random one, and then maybe do a playthrough or something like that. You know, I could do more, and I think that's what would change, really. If money wasn't an issue and you could do anything you wanted, what would it be? Content creating, full-time. Being creative in one way or another is what makes me happy. I love doing videos, I love doing streaming. I want to get back to writing. That's what I would want to do. What are your goals? Where do you think you'll be in 10 years? My goals shift a lot. I definitely want to be a content creator. I definitely want to write, but those are the things you guys have probably already picked up throughout this video. But you know, I want to have the traditional life. I want to have a nice house, a nice family, you know, all the normal stuff. I'm not necessarily special in that regard. I want what everyone else wants, you know. You know, I'd love to have a book on a shelf by 10 years time. I'd love to be doing more content, more videos, more TikToks, more whatever is the new fangle at that point. I'm excited for the next 10 years, honestly. If the trajectory we're on right now continues, I'd love to see what happens next. Anyway, guys, those are the questions that I got asked this round of Q&A. I'll probably do another one down the road, I imagine, maybe when we reach 500 or something like that. I don't want to look too far ahead right now. I have a question for you guys now. If you guys have watched much of my content, or maybe you haven't, maybe you just watched this one, what do you like, what you dislike? You can tell me here on YouTube, you can tell me on Twitter, you can tell me on my Discord. All the links will be in the description. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.